Keys in the Pen Unlocked, Citi Field, New York. Check out this quick Q&A with all-star pitcher RA Dickey. Keep it locked. Don't shrink that screen. RA, every fifth day you're the talk of Major League Baseball, okay? So when I think of RA Dickey, the word authentic comes to mind. In one word, how would you describe yourself?
That's tough. I like the word you picked. I certainly strive to be as authentic as I can be, and spent a long time, not being that way. So, if that's your descriptor, that's good for me.
Okay. Do you think you have controlled the uncontrollable pitch?
I think I have worked hard to try to control it. Yeah, and I think this year is evident that a lot of the hard work is paying off. Now, I don't think you can ever command a knuckleball, but you can certainly control it.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you if you have ever thrown the perfect knuckleball, but I would sure love to know what you think it looks like.
I think it's what the hitter will show me what it looks like. So when you see a hitter, swing at a pitch, flail at it, you're throwing a pretty good one, they let you know more about the perfect knuckleball than you.
Okay. Is it anything like how you see like in the cartoons where Bugs Bunny would throw that ball and everyone is missing? Is it something like that?
Yeah, that would be the perfect one. The Bugs Bunny knuckleball would be the perfect knuckleball. That's exactly right.
I understand that because of a new grip that you discovered with your knuckleball, you now throw the hardest knuckleball in Major League Baseball history. Can you just explain to me how did that come about?
Well, I actually have the same grip for every knuckleball that I throw. I think with the harder one, I generate more arm speed, and I'm able to do that. That's one of the things that makes me unique, I think, and so that's what I try to present on the mound. I think one of the things that has enabled me to have some success is I'm able to change speeds with it so much, and part of that is throwing a hard one.
All right, you were very candid in your book about painful and past events. Did revealing those truths help take the weight off your shoulders? Well,
I think anytime you take the risk of being you and not feeling shame about that, it's liberating. You feel a lot of freedom in that. And sure, I had a lot of things painful in my past, but also had a lot of people who cared about me and loved me well, and they've certainly helped in the cathartic process.
In reference to your book, RA, do you feel like you're living out God's purpose for your life?
I do, and I think I could always probably do it better. I think that's one of the things God has instilled in me is a desire to grow and learn and have aptitude, and so in an effort to do that, I try to be as self-aware as possible and be honest about the things I'm not good at and try to improve them and try to exhibit the things that I am good at. And so when I go out on the mound, a lot of times it's really an act of worship. God's given me some special gifts, and to demonstrate those gifts to the best of my ability, I feel like I'm almost singing a song sometimes.
All right, in reading from your book, okay, do you really consider yourself a carnival act because of everyone's fascination with the knuckleball?
No, I don't actually. I think that's the perception that people have about what I do from time to time, but I think it's a very serious thing, and you have to devote yourself to the craft to get it to do what you want it to do, and that takes a lot of hard work. And so, the knuckleball it's a different type of pitch. A lot of people haven't seen it. A lot of people don't really understand it, and because of that, they want to try to solve it, explain it, and I think the mystery in it is what makes it beautiful. It's a hard pitch to throw, but it's also a hard pitch to hit, and people's opinion about it is their opinion. I know what it can do and have worked hard to do it.
Well, I think you're going to definitely change everyone's opinion because you're going to be starting on that mound in the All-Star game throwing that knuckleball. So do you think that helps defend the pitch?
I think it brings a real legitimacy to it, sure. I think people might start taking it a little more serious, or at least having a different mentality when it comes to someone who wants to try to throw the pitch. They realize that it can produce a very valuable result.
RA, how do you plan on keeping the knuckleball alive?
By throwing it well. That's the only thing I can really do, and certainly teaching people who inquire about it. If someone wants to know about it, then I've tried to be as generous as I know how and giving them any counsel that I can. That's what was done for me with Phil Necro and Charlie Huff and Tim Wakefield. Those guys all poured into me. I mean, the fraternity is very tight. So I think one thing I could do too is to share what I know.
How do you feel about being a pitcher of the last of an era?
Well, it's lonely. I mean, I can't turn on the TV and watch somebody do what I do, and I used to could with Tim when Tim Wakefield was around, and but it's also, it's an honor because it's something that is hard to do, and you're doing something that a lot of people have tried to do and couldn't. So you're kind of carrying a torch, so to speak, hopefully until the next guy can come up and take it from you.
Okay. From the little leagues to college to even the pros, there's about 2 or 3 players that throw a knuckleball, whether it's the third baseman, the outfielder. Who on this Mets team right now throws a knuckleball?
They all try to throw knuckleballs. Every position player tries to throw a knuckleball. There's a couple guys who really, like John Roush has a pretty good knuckleball, and Lucas Duda, the position player, has a pretty good knuckleball. Those 2 guys I've seen throw pretty good knuckleballs. So, everybody loves to try to hit their buddy in the knee or make them miss it or whatever with the pitch, but those 2 guys can actually do it probably.
Is it like, do they ever look over their shoulder to see if you're around, to see if they could throw the perfect knuckleball?
No, it's much worse than that. They call me over to try to catch it, so they want me to get a taste of what they have to look at maybe when they stand in and see it coming.
I have 2 more questions for you, and I would really love a Star Wars reference if you can. Okay. When you're in the rad zone on that hill over there, what type of zone are you in?
Well, I'm certainly in the moment, and there is a scene in, I think it was episode 1, where Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are they're aboard a Trade Federation ship, and Qui-Gon Jinn is teaching Obi-Wan to be in the moment. He says, don't think outside of where you are right now, because there's something for you right now, right here. And I certainly try to live that out on the mound from pitch to pitch. I try to be in the moment with everything.
Mr. Dickey, I really appreciate this opportunity with this interview. I have one more question, okay? When it's all said and done for you in this game, what do you want to be remembered for the most?
Oh, man. In the moment, I think I would like to be remembered as a trustworthy pitcher, a trustworthy teammate. A guy who, when he went out there, you knew that you were going to have a chance to win the game, and was a good teammate. Those 2 things, I try to work really hard at.
Well, Mr. Dickey, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Congratulations on your All-Star selection, and much success with your book as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Gemini Keez in the pen, unlocked with All-Star pitcher RA Dickey, and you're watching Keez in the Pen.